to this episode of The Kitchen Warrior. I am Chef Melvin. Today I want to show you how to make a salmon family style platter using assorted vegetables and a green olive with lime butter. Let me show you the list of ingredients we have to work with today. Here we have some broccoli crowns. We have some sugar snow peas cut in half. Here we have some shredded carrot. We have some fresh cut corn. Here we have some raw 2130 raw shrimp. Here we have some portobello mushroom. Here we have some blanched yucca root. Here we have some chopped green olives. Here we have an assortment of herbs. We have fresh butter. We have a couple of slices of ham. We have a lime. We have salt and pepper. We have some olive oil, and we have a real nice piece of raw salmon. So here we're going to begin. The first thing we're going to do is that we're going to remove the stem from the mushroom. We're going to remove the skin from this mushroom. And we're going to remove this part right here, the gills. That's what they're called, the gills of the mushroom. We just want to scrape them off. We can also do this with a knife. Most of them, because they will turn the food a little bit dark because the pigmentation that comes from this. Alright, so we'll take this and throw it aside. We're going to cut this and slice it. Just slice this. Just like that. Put them right here. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take this shrimp, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut them in half. We don't have too many of them, so we have to make them look like they're more. So we'll just cut them in half. Just like that. Now if you have a lot of shrimp, you don't have to really cut them. They're small enough. But for this small plate presentation, we're going to do it like this. It just makes it look like it's more. Alright. Finally, we're going to take our salmon. I'm going to bring it here to the cutting board. Alright. As you can see, it has the backs of the skin on it, and we're going to remove it. So all we're going to do is we're going to pinch the end right here with our nails. We're going to run our knives just along the bottom, just barely touching the skin, and we're going to remove it just like that. Okay, we're going to throw the skin out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of cut this piece right down the middle, and we're going to separate this into a few portions. We have 6 pieces of yucca, so we're going to make double that of salmon. 1, 2. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pour a little bit of this oil onto the yucca root. I'm going to put just a little bit right there onto the pan. We have cut the yucca into smaller pieces so that we can mount the salmon pieces right on top. These have been already pre-blanched, but we want to put a little extra color into them. This will make them a little bit more interesting, and they'll have a different texture. Alright, so we are giving this yucca root a little bit of color, and then we're going to set them aside. Like I said, they were already blanched, and we're just going to set them aside right here, just like that. The next thing we want to do is the same hot pan. We're going to take a little bit of this olive oil. Once again, we're going to pour it right over the top of the shrimp. Back and forth a little bit. We're going to put salt and pepper on it, just a little bit. And we're going to drop them right in there and just give them a quick toss. So we have cooked the shrimp a little bit, and it has curled like that, and that makes it look just perfect. It's also cooked all the way. We're going to place this right into this plate right here, just like that. Now this is really hot. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ham slices, we're going to put them in there one at a time. And what we're going to do is just produce a little bit of color on the ham. Ham has a really beautiful color by itself, but when it's browned a little bit, the colors are even more interesting. And also the flavors. I'll show you here in a minute. There they are. Beautiful color of ham. See how it caramelizes? A little bit of the sugar, just little spots. And we're going to cut this ham, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it here in a moment. Alright, so we're going to set this ham aside right here. We're going to do this fairly fast. Yes, right there. Alright, next thing we're going to do, we're going to put a little bit more olive oil in there. In the same pan, as hot as it is, we're going to place our mushroom right into the skillet. Just like that. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Oil, just a little bit. So yeah, we have given the mushroom a little bit of color, and it's still fairly a little bit soft inside. Carry over cooking. We'll finish cooking this mushroom even further. We're starting to cook everything separately because we're going to assemble it. That's part of our strategy right now. Alright, in the same very hot skillet, we're going to take the salmon pieces. We're going to season them with a little bit of the salt and pepper. Just a little bit over the top of each one of them. You can season it any which way you like. You can use any flavors you like. You can also add some things to this. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to our pan right here. Swirl it around a little bit. We're going to place the pieces right in there. Always make sure you have plenty of ventilation when you're cooking on high. When you're cooking anything, you're going to produce a little bit of smoke from the fat. Alright, we're going to cook this medium rare. It shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. Take a look at the color on the little pieces of salmon. It's so rare inside. All we're going to do is we're going to flip it. It's been about a minute and a half. And this is the right way to cook this fish. Place them back in here and let this cook for another minute. Alright, let's remove the pieces of salmon and let them sit aside here for a little bit. Everything is still hot. We're doing this step by step, but it's getting done really fast. So we have a little bit of water boiling right here. The water has a little bit of salt. And what we're going to do is we're going to blanch these vegetables very quickly. We're going to drop them all right in there. The broccoli, the carrots, and turn off the heat at this time. The corn, and the snow peas. Alright, we're going to swirl this a little bit and we're going to remove it right away. Place it right in here. Just how beautiful they look. They haven't lost any nutritional value. We just barely blanched them a little bit. This is the best a vegetable can be. To make our lime with green olive butter. So what I've done is that I placed the butter in the microwave just for about 30 seconds, just to soften it up a little bit. I didn't want to melt it to the point where it turned color or all the liquid evaporated from it. So it basically almost looks like a really soft cream. So what I'm going to do here with that is that I'm going to add these green olives that I've chopped right to the butter. They have a little bit of that acidity from the green olive where they came out of their jar. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to cut this lime right in half. I'm going to add about half of this lime to that. Alright. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Just whatever I can grab between my fingers. That should be enough right there. I'm also going to take some of the herbs. And right about what I can grab with my fingers. That should be enough for this platter right there. Okay, very good. And I am going to mix this really good. You can also do this in a small food processor. The finer you want to make it, the better. Okay. And it should be right on. We're going to give it a little taste, just to make sure. It's perfect. You can taste the olive, you can taste the lime, you can taste the salt and pepper. It's going to complement this dish. Let's get ready to assemble the dish. I take the slices of ham, and I'm going to place them like this, one on top of the other. because I want the cuts to be almost as even as possible. And what I'm going to do with these is that I'm going to cut them in half. And I'm going to stack them again. I want these to be almost the same. Alright. And then I'm going to look at one of these pieces of salmon, right? I want to make sure they're about half the size of the piece of salmon. And so I'm going to cut them like that to little strips. Just like that. Alright. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to bring our platter right here. Get ready to start plating up this dish. We're going to add a little bit of this olive oil. Just a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to our vegetables. We're going to toss them a little bit. And we're going to place them right here along the center. Right along the center. It's a focal point. Just like that. Of this beautiful platter we're putting together. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place our yucca root right around the plate. You can use sweet potato, you can use any root vegetable you like. If you have more salmon, you can do all sorts of designs. Let's see how this is going to work out for us. That's a platter. Very good. I'm going to take a few pieces of mushroom and we're going to kind of just toss them in there just like that. Show that we have mushroom there as well. Even a few pieces of ham. Like that. And we're going to take our pieces of salmon while they're still hot. I'm going to place them right on top of the yucca root. You know, sometimes when we look at something, it looks so inviting just by the way it looks, the way it's presented. Presentation, it's half the battle. If we like the way it looks, we're probably going to like the way it tastes. Very good. So to this, we're going to add a little piece of ham right across. Just a little piece of ham across. This could actually be turned into a really nice, neat little appetizer. You know, when we walk into a buffet, we want to just taste everything. We're going to add a little piece of this mushroom. Kind of like that. Just make it across. Like that. I like making these really nice little things for you. Alright, we ran out of these mushrooms. We're going to have to take some of these right here. Just adjust real quick. We have one more here. And one more here. No problem. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this little shrimp and we're going to place him right on top. We're going to put one right in there. Somebody's going to want to take that one. And we're going to take the little pieces of shrimp and just place them on top. Just like that. You don't have to cook fancy like this all the time at home, but you know, once in a while you want to do a little something extra. Your family, your friends would really be impressed with something like this. Anytime. Alright. Plus, you know, we're taking the time to cook, feed ourselves right, and the little extra effort just makes it so much more beautiful. Alright, very good. We have all the pieces put together. The next thing we're going to do is that we add a little bit of our sauce. So we're going to take a little bit of that lemon caper, olive butter, and just going to put a little dab on it. Just a little dab. This is best kept when it's a little bit warm. Maybe we just let a few little pieces just fall right into between the yucca root. Like that. Cooking is also an expression of where you feel at the moment. And so this is how I feel. Alright. And finally, we're going to take a little bit of the herbs and we're just going to sprinkle a little bit, just slightly, with our fingers slightly, over the top. And here is a beautiful plate presentation that is family style. I'm Chef Melvin, the Kitchen Warrior. I'm always there for you. Until next time.